Hello and welcome back to another episode of No Suit Survival. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 4. Before we get started, let's come over here and once again thank these wonderful people for all of the support that they provide for this channel. It is because of them that we have a channel to begin with. Next, let's come over here to the to-do list. And I know that I want to build the new utility ship, but here's the thing. The Evermore is doing a fine job right now. And so I think I'd rather focus on defenses a little bit more, and then we can build our new ship. So here's what I've been thinking. So let me open the doors. I just pressed the close door button instead of the open door button. Open doors. Let's run over to the Evermore. Oh, I just realized I don't think I actually set these other doors up with the airlock. That's all right. We will do it later. Okay. Let's talk about some defenses. So I really do like the tower. I think it's cool, and with the amount of welders that it has inside of it, I do think it will function well. My issue with the tower is that not only does it require a lot of resources because it's made out of heavy armor, but it's also difficult to expand when you drop down towers that are supposed to have coverage on all four sides. For example, if I were to take this design and project it over onto this side of the base, it would stop the progression of building my base further this way. And we know with the amount of things that we have to do for these bases to be considered adequate for our playthrough, we need a lot of room for expansion. So as much as I like the tower, I might have to come up with some different ideas if we want to do defenses like this one. And I think in the meantime, what I'm going to do is laying down some conveyor pipes on the roof from over there. And we're just going to load up some turrets on the ceiling. That way we just know that we're in a good spot. So probably putting some assault cannons or something on the corners. And then we'll have Gatling turrets maybe like closer to the middle. And again, those will be set to shoot down missiles. And yeah, I think just by doing those things, I think we'll be in a better spot, and I can feel a little bit safer, and it will leave room for expansion off of this side, off of the back, and right now we're kind of, stuck with this. Maybe we expand off the front or something else like that, and then, we can always expand up as well. A lot of talking, but I wanted to run you through my thought process before I started doing this because it wasn't the original plan. So with all that being said, I think the first thing we're going to need to do is switch out our welder for a grinder, and then we can go ahead and get into it. Alright, now we just gotta put on the turrets, and I think we'll be in a little bit of a better situation than we were previously. I do have some concerns because by adding turrets to the top of the base, that means that there will be projectiles coming towards the base, which is not the preference, obviously, because we have a light armor, and if we lose pressure, that's not the best thing in the world. So we might have to address that situation, but it will be nice to be able to neutralize any potential threats that might come at our base. All right. I feel a little safer now. So that is a good feeling. That being said, I do think at some point I am going to make a custom turret so that way I can join in the fray rather than just sitting in here hoping that these things will be able to do what I need them to do. So yeah, a custom turret would be pretty good, especially because the range on those is significantly better than the AI on the turrets. So I just made sure that we had plenty of ammo. I also did not realize, I should rephrase, I knew earlier and I forgot, and now I just remembered that the shells that are used in the artillery cannons use uranium, and we don't have a ton of that. So yeah, we're going to be relying more on those assault cannons, so I'm glad that I built more of those. All right, so the next thing on the to-do list, finally, is to go ahead and build that new utility ship. The Evermore has done a great job. In fact, I think that I may change my mind on the idea of turning the Evermore into a fighter. And the reason for that is that this ship has been with us since day one, and if I turn it into a fighter ship and I get into a situation that's more hairy than I can handle, this ship is going to be gone, and that would be a travesty. So I think when we build a fighter, we're just gonna do a new one. That being said, one thing that I could do once we have our new utility ship is I could make the Evermore into our ore scout, which is something that we definitely need. But for now, we need to build our new utility ship. Okay, so I have this idea of how I want to do this ship, but I think I'm going to start out by first building it off of a rotor. That way, I know that I want it to be an atmospheric ship, and so this way we can charge the batteries while it's going. That was a little trick I picked up. Somebody in the comments told me about that. Pretty sweet. All right, let's get to it. Oh man, that is taking quite a while. Okay, so I know what some of you may be thinking. You forgot the utility part of the utility ship. But I assure you I have not forgotten. I have plans, but right now the plan is I need to take this off the rotor and I need to fly it up a little bit higher so that way I can create the apparatus that I'm trying to create to make this whole thing work. But before we do that, I need to not forget gyroscopes. So let me toss some gyros down here and then I'll show you what I'm thinking. Alrighty, let's disconnect. So here's what I need to do. Unfortunately, right now, whenever I try to move this thing, whenever I hop in the cockpit, I start to die because we don't have any like oxygen in the tanks or anything else like that. And I tried putting a vent to depressurize from the base, but it doesn't like that either. So I'm gonna have to be pretty quick. But my plan is that I'm just going to throw a temporary connector on the back over here so that way I can just like mount it to the wall and I can keep the batteries charging while I work on the underside. The plan is that I'm actually going to have a rotor come down from here, and then we're going to have a system where you can have tools detachable. So the first one will be a welder on one side, a grinder on the other side, and then I can just flip between them. But then later on, if we want to do something like go mining on an asteroid or something else like that, we will have a drilling tool that we can use as well. That's the idea. Now we just got to make it work. Alrighty, so the key here is I just need to drop this down far enough that whatever the tool is has clearance around these reverse thrusters. So I'm almost thinking maybe we go 2 conveyor frames and then the rotor, something like that. And then we can just mess with the displacement. Yeah, I think that would work. So now if we just bring this out like this, it's gonna be kind of weird, but as long as it works, that is okay. One more and then the welder. And then I saw this, this was not my idea, I wish it was. But I saw this this other video of a welding ship that somebody made, and what they did was they actually put wheels, like wheel suspension, on the sides of their welder and grinder to make it so if you bumped into anything, the wheel suspension would help out with that, which I thought was pretty cool. So let me try that out. I don't know if it's gonna work out with the grinder, but we'll see. All right, I don't think it's gonna fit putting the additional conveyors over here, so I'm gonna have to take it off its dock right now. And oh crap, I keep forgetting about this whole not having oxygen in the old cockpit situation. Okay, let's see if I can figure something else out. So you want to know something interesting about this playthrough that I did not know? I can't put oxygen bottles into my inventory because I don't have a spacesuit, and so I guess that's, I don't know, but yeah, I can't even throw them into my inventory to put them into the cockpit. Well, that is a bummer, dude. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to unplug it from the wall, lift it up a little bit, hop out, put a... Oh, actually, I don't even have to do any of that stuff. I can just do this. Let me put a connector facing down, like right there. It's a little weird, but it'll let me connect right here, and then I can fill up my O2 tanks. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no. I need a control seat. Okay. Oh gosh, I need a turret. Just, where are you? We're out of ammunition? How are we out of ammunition? Well, it looks like the guns are handling it, but I don't understand why we don't have ammunition in this guy right here. Ooh hoo hoo! All right, let's spectate. Huh. Do we even take damage? It really doesn't look like it. It looks like it just walked into the wrong neighborhood. I mean, it might have shot the tower, which would make sense because of the decoy, but we have welders and stuff. So I am a little bit concerned about the fact that I know I have a bunch of Gatling turret ammo, and it says we don't have that ammo. It also doesn't make a whole lot of sense because this thing's just limping along over here. So to say, it also doesn't make sense because all of my other guns were shooting. So clearly the conveyor system is working. I just don't know. But I am glad that the defenses came in handy. Okay, back to this. Yes, I was foolish to delete the scaffolding. I'll get on the other side. We have a limited window. All right, and let's lock this. Okay, and then let's set our, can I reach the tanks? Yes, I can. To stockpile. And I guess now that we're kind of plugged in anyway, I can continue building this out. All right, that is a little ugly. It may function well, and that's what we're hoping for. I don't think like the actual chassis of it is ugly. I think that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. I could probably do with some armoring of this underside right here, especially right there where the survival kit is. And honestly, I could probably run some armor on these guys so that way if we take damage, it doesn't like cut off the tool. But other than that, here is the like what I think the functionality of this thing is. So the reason I put a cockpit here rather than just keeping it all glass is because the cockpit allows me to still place blocks. So I wish there was a way around that, but there's not. So then we have the pressurized area in there. So if I press F, I will still be inside. I have cargo access in there. So that way I can fill up my inventory with blocks that I need to place stuff. Then of course you have your welder and your grinder. So the only thing that this utility ship doesn't do is mine, but it will be able to do that if we just build a mining rig that we can just plug in. So this is kind of our all-purpose Europa vehicle. We just need to make sure that it works. I need to come up with a better way to get in and out of it while it's inside of here. Because the plan is that I'm actually just going to plug it in on the outside of the base up here. That's where its dock is going to be. But when we're in here working on it like we are right now, it would also be helpful to have something. There we go. Okay, so let's close these. All right, and then let's take those O2 tanks off of stockpile. And then, why are the vents not pressurizing? The vents should be pressurizing. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to weld these up, and I need to put glass panels on the beams, because beams are not airtight. I was wondering why it wasn't working. All right, there we go. It is now pressurized in here, and this is set to depressurize, so hopefully, yeah. All right. I should probably figure out a docking situation for it while it's in here as well. No, it might be cool if I could just figure out a way to make it like that. So then how do we get up there? Ooh, you know what we could do? We'll have to get rid of that light, and maybe we'll swap it out for corner lights, but let's grab those stairway, or I guess ladder shaft, and maybe like go up like that. I don't think this goes, yeah, this shouldn't go directly outdoors. It's not as cool as the caution stripe, so maybe I'll just keep it white. There we go. All right, so now I just got to get in this thing and move it over there and see if we can dock it. All right, now let's just come over here. All right, I'm a little bit confused. Feels like we're close enough to dock. Well, I can tell you what I did wrong. I didn't weld this thing up, and that's gonna be a problem. So let's go back over to the scaffolding. I was wondering why it was being dumb. It wasn't being dumb. I was being dumb. All right, there we go. It is now welded. Let's try this again. Close the door, fly over there, and there we go. And then we can come through here, go down the stairs, That is just awful. We didn't get a notification that said Reavers are inbound, did we? Did I miss it? They just wanted to send me a message of people screaming. Not very nice. I wonder if it's because of the one we shot down. I think it's over there. Just out of range, but apparently close enough to send us awful audio tracks. Okay, good to know. So now we have a way to park it inside the base so I can work on it. And I think last thing we should do is add some lights. Add these guys. Let's get rid of this because this is no longer helpful. All right, what I want to do now is I want to use this thing to create its own docking station outside of the base. Oh, I also want to put, it'd be cool if I just like did these and made it red. Ooh, can we have those vents? Vents. Are those small grid? Because if they are, ooh, that could be a cool spot for some vents. Oh, let's do that. I've been wanting to find cool spots for vents. Not like specifically with this build, but just in general. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Yeah, so let's just load this thing up with the components to make some connectors and things like that, and then we'll take it outside and we'll build this like proper docking station. We're ready for the maiden voyage of this thing. Let's hope it works out as well as I hope it does. I do love this. Oh man, this is so nice. If this was airtight, just everything would be so great. Unfortunately, that's not the case, but you know, it is what it is. Let's hop in here. Let's open up the airlocks. All right, let's roll. Oh yeah, those vents are awesome. Okay, so a couple things. Already, I can tell that we're gonna want some additional gyroscopes, just because we are not super maneuverable. But let's test our range of motion. Oh, that's pretty much straight up and down. As long as we can do that, we should be good. Okay, so let's go around to the side of the base that we're gonna wanna work on. And yeah, we're gonna have to work relatively quickly. Luckily, the sun is still out, so we can get a little bit of solar power because these batteries aren't charged. All right, I gotta mess with the rotor for a second. All right, cool. We have the grinder set up right now. Yeah, I think that the grinder is gonna grind off its own protection. So, well, we tried. Yeah, it is what it is. Let's come over here and start setting up. All right, we did it. We are connected to the base. I don't want to open this up yet because I want to depressurize in here before I go. So that's actually why I left this open, because I want to make buttons to yeah, do that, depressurize. So now if I press the button, it will depressurize this room, and we can open the door and then head in here, which I forgot I didn't close the door. Close. And now I will wait here for the doors to close. All right, there we go. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now we can just, whenever we want to use the ship, we just come up here, go through this airlock, close the door, and then pressurize. We don't lose that much health. And if we do lose a little bit of health, we have the survival kit right here. And then when we want to leave, depressurize, just go back into the base. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Feels good. Cool. All right, well, let's check that off the to-do list. Boom. Done. So we decided we weren't going to turn the Evermore into a fighter. I think we're going to turn it into an ore scout, which will be helpful in doing this part of finding ore. So now that we have a utility ship, we can start messing with this guy. I do want to be careful though, because I know that if we're out there and we're in a rough spot and we get discovered, we're going to have to run. But that being said, the good news is that a lot of the Evermore is already heavy armor. So maybe I'll just reinforce it in certain places. I think I'm going to make it a little bit longer, so maybe we could add another hydrogen tank or two. And yeah, we'll just play around with it, see how it goes, and we'll create something new. On this week's episode of Dumb Things to Do, let's see how dumb I can do this. Hopefully everything goes well, but we'll see. I'm a little worried about where the cockpit is right now, so I'm actually just gonna move that first, and then I'll do all that other stuff. It worked. It doesn't love what's happening, but it worked. Oh yeah. All right. And that, friends, is how you get a large grid to attach to an existing small grid. Unfortunately, I already got rid of the remote control, and so I can't get back up on it. That is a minor inconvenience when compared to the major triumph that we just had. So here's the thing. I know exactly what cockpit I want to put on this thing. I just got to figure out how to pipe it up. But once I do that, I'm excited about the prospect of it. So how are we gonna do this? Oh yeah. It's gonna take a little bit of finesse to get this whole thing working, but I've been wanting to use this ball cockpit for a while, and having it on like an ore scout, especially because like unfortunately I don't have large cargo access through there. With the roundness of the ore detector and the roundness of this cockpit, I really like that a lot. All right, let's pipe it up on the other side the same way, and then we'll start going to work on the body of this thing. All right, I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and when I come back, we're gonna finish off this thing, and we're gonna go find some more. All right, let's turn this thing into something awesome. I've had some time to think about what I want to do, and I think that generally speaking, I want to keep this like curvature style that we have going on, because we have like this ball cockpit and then we have the curves up on the top. It would be nice if we could somehow put another few hydrogen tanks on here, and I think I have an idea of how that could be possible. So I'm just gonna mess around with this a little bit. I have some general ideas of how I want it to look, just expanding on what's already there. And yeah, so let's get into it. Alrighty, there it is. The new Evermore Ore Scout. I was super paranoid about this thing going out and scouting because I don't want to lose the Evermore, hence why I decided not to make it a fighter ship, but this thing is heavily armored all the way through. So it can take a hit, which is nice. Hopefully that we don't need it to come to that. I'm actually pretty happy with the way that this turned out. It's kind of cool. At least I think it's cool. Ooh, you know what I should do is I should keep this red color and have the stripe go all the way down. So one thing about this, I was able to fit a lot more hydrogen tanks. I wasn't able to fit another big one, but I think that there are like 5 in there, and then I fit a bunch underneath here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 8 more underneath here. So it should be good for longer trips. And I also added this drill right here, so that way, just in case we do run out of fuel, we can pick up some ice and just wait it out for a little bit, because we do have an H2O2 generator on here. It is only 1, and with the Split Sea Survival Impossible mod, it does make it take significantly longer. That is not the best option in the world, but it is an option if we do get stuck. But fingers crossed that we don't. Later on, I might change this whole drill just because I feel like it takes away from the sleek design of this whole thing. But I just feel like for utility reasons, it's a good idea to have one. I don't know. Maybe in later renditions, we'll extend it out a little bit further, add another large hydrogen tank, and then we can hide a drill in there somewhere where it can push down. As of right now, I'm pretty satisfied. So I think that this is probably a good stopping point for this episode. And then next episode, we'll take this thing out and we'll go find ourselves some ore. So coming over here to the to-do list, let's check off the turn Evermore into an ore scout. All right. And next up, we got to find some ore. And you know what? I think I'm going to say that the base defenses, as of right now, are done. I'm sure we'll come up with some additional things next time, but right now, the big thing on our list is to find some more ore. So with all that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to No Suit Survival, and we'll catch you next time.